Today I'm going to talk about the places in Rio that I love the most. So I'm from the state of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and I just love it. I just love living there, and of course it has lots of downsides. It's kind of like a bittersweet place to live. It has lots of really good things and lots of bad things as well. So I just want to share the places that I love the most. First one being a small town right next to my town in Rio called Lumiar. This town is kind of like a hippie town it's a district of a city called Nova Friburgo, which is my hometown. And it's hippie, it has lots of waterfalls, it's very agricultural, but it has nice hotels, and it's a mix of like a nature place with touristy vibes, but it's not that touristy. So I don't know, I just feel peace there. I used to go there with my parents when we were young. I have like an uncle that lives there. He has a small hotel there, and it's just like a different vibe. When you go to a place and it's like completely different. So I think that's a place that is completely different from the rest of the state of Rio, and it's 100% worth a visit. If you ever go to Rio, think about going to this place because it's a small town. It's a good way to experience Brazilian culture, but it's at the same time a place that is like chill and hippie and different, and you're gonna see like people playing reggae on the street, and you know what I mean, like this kind of vibe, and that's it. Lumiar. Now, second place I have to mention in Rio is a city called Cabo Frio. So this city is a beach city, let's say 2 hours and a half, 3 hours out of the city of Rio. And this city is incredible. It has like amazing beaches, lots of stuff to do, some hikes, and it's like real Rio culture, and you're gonna find a lot of Brazilian tourists there, but the views are incredible, and the energy that I feel in this city is just like something that I can't like put in words. Like, I remember going to the city when I was young, and I would be on the pool in my stepfather's home, and I would feel just like peace in a way that it was like unprecedented for me, the amount of peace I felt in that place. So Cabo Frio is one that I absolutely highly recommend. Now let me think, another one. I think third place is also a small town called Sana. So Sana is a district of a city called Macaé, and this place is so cool. This place is like waterfalls everywhere, rainforest, some farms here and there. My phone.
Hey Pedro, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Anyway, this was my boss telling me that we don't have work today because we're currently in New Zealand and we're working a farm, and it's raining, so no work when it's raining. By the way, that's the view from our room. Anyway, so Sana is amazing. Like it has a high vibe. Like the energy is high, and the people who go there, like they go, they're like very open-minded, and I don't know, I feel such a good vibe there, especially because of the nature and all the campgrounds and everything you can do there. There's a lot of like campgrounds in front of rivers, so like you sleep with the sound of the rivers, and it's very peaceful. It's very good vibe. So this is another place that you can visit in the state of Rio that is completely different from Rio de Janeiro, like the city. The city is hectic. This place is peaceful. So another one that is worth a visit. I'll mention two now that are not necessarily, one is not in the state of Rio, but it's like in the border, so I will consider that it's still Rio. And these two, they're in the south part of the state. One is called Ilha Grande, which translates to Big Island, and the other one is called Ubatuba. So Ilha Grande, it's like a rainforest island off the coast of a city called Angra dos Reis. So it's in the city called Angra, and it's just like incredible. It's like I went there with my friend a couple of years ago, like 1 year, 2 years ago, and I think it was one of the best trips of our lives. You know, it's just like beaches everywhere, also like waterfalls, crazy nature, like untouched nature, and a really high vibe, you know? One thing that you have to watch out is that there's not a lot of infrastructure. So, like, if you go to a campground that is isolated, there's no, like, convenience shop, there's nothing, you know? So, if you don't have food, like, you need to be prepared, you know? Like, you're not gonna find a place to buy eggs or, like, milk. But besides that, it's like if you're looking into an isolated place to visit, this one is awesome. This one is absolutely awesome. And yeah, it's just like good vibes, nice people again. And I think because you're isolated, everybody tends to be very friendly because you're in an island. And it's a really good vibe. Nice place. We stayed in a beach called Aventureiro, which translates to the adventurer. And it's really nice. It's in the other side of the island. It's not on the let's say the mainstream touristy side of the island. It's in the back part of the island. So there's not that many people, and it was 100% the most beautiful beach I've ever been in my entire life. I can tell for a fact. I've been in multiple states in the south of Brazil. I've been in beaches in São Paulo, in Rio. I have lived in Australia. Now we're here in New Zealand. This beach in Ilha Grande, Aventureiro, and the beach next to Aventureiro that I forgot the name, and another one that I'm not sure. I think it's not Itamumbu, Parnaioca, the beach of Parnaioca. These were the most beautiful places I've ever been in my entire life. Period. So one that is highly recommended. Another one that this one lives in my heart because I lived there for a month. I did volunteer work there. Is Ubatuba. Ubatuba is not technically in the state of Rio. It's in the border. It's part of the state of São Paulo, but it's not that far from Rio. You know, it's just like you catch a highway and then 3 hours, 4 hours later you're gonna be there in Ubatuba, and it's amazing. I lived there for a month. I met so many people. I sold candies on the beach to make a living. So I went there to do volunteer work in a hostel in exchange of a bed, so I didn't have to pay for rent. And in order to make money to keep traveling, I was selling candies, like Brazilian candies called brigadeiro, and I would make them in the hostel and sell them on the beach. And I was just one of the best months of my life, 100%. And I think the energy that I felt in Ubatuba, and especially when I left Ubatuba, the feeling that I didn't have a feeling like that in any other place I have ever lived. It was unique, you know. It's not I don't know, all the experiences, the beaches, the people. There are some crazy people as well, so watch out for that. The manager of the hostel that I was staying, he was, I don't know, like an alcoholic or something. But besides that, I met loads of incredible people. And yeah, it's nature, mountains, places to hike, beaches, and good vibes, you know? And surprisingly enough, like if you stay in a hostel there's a pretty international community in these hostels that there's like people from all over the world. So for me, it was amazing, you know? Like I could stay in a hostel, meet people from multiple countries, practice English, and I don't know. It was a great vibe. It was really, really a great vibe, and Ubatuba is unforgettable for me. Another place that I think you should visit, and this one I'm 100% biased, is Nova Friburgo. So I said I'm biased because this is my hometown in Rio, and it's not very touristy. I'd say like nobody knows about Friburgo. None of the tourists go there, but it's a mountainous city in the state of Rio, and if you want to like experience Brazilian culture, I'd say this is a really good place for you to do so, while you also explore nature and do some hikes. So Friburgo is a small town, 2 hours and a half away from Rio. It's in the mountains. There are multiple hikes everywhere in the city, like everywhere. There's so many hikes in so many mountains you could like possibly think of. There are loads of waterfalls, and I don't know. It's a smaller town in Rio. You know, if you want to experience the culture and like the like if you want to experience Rio, that's one of the best places for you to go. You know, people are friendly. It's not a rushed city like Rio, and I don't know, man. I love it because it's home for me. But I don't know, if you're in Rio, take a look. It's nice. There are multiple farms around the city. The city center is what I would describe as a typical Brazilian city center, like a mid-sized city center. And yeah, there's like historical buildings everywhere. The population is really diverse, so it has a big European influence from like multiple, like from people who immigrated from multiple countries, and there is also a big African influence and a small Asian influence as well. So you're gonna see like Japanese shops, like restaurants in every corner, and we have like a square in the city called the our international square. I don't know, I'm not sure, but it has flags of all the countries of people who immigrated to this city. There's a Pan-African flag which represents all the countries from Africa. There are like multiple European flags. There's a Lebanese flag because there's lots of Lebanese people in the city, and yeah, it's just like interesting, you know. Like now I don't live in Brazil anymore, and I've met loads of foreigners who want to travel to Brazil, and this is the kind of city that I would recommend. You know, if you're not Brazilian, if you're trying to go to a place that is like unique, this is the place. You know, like you're like, there's not a lot of English speakers, but I'd say that you can get around, you know, and people are gonna be extremely friendly. And my girlfriend traveled there last year. My girlfriend is from Korea. A couple of months ago, and she loved it, you know. So Nova Friburgo. And since you're going to Friburgo, there's a lot of towns nearby that are also worth a visit, like Petrópolis and Teresópolis. I don't know much about these cities because I haven't lived there, but these cities are more touristy. These cities are cities that had a big empire, they had a big influence from the Emperor of Brazil at the time that Brazil was an empire. So Petrópolis was like the capital of the Brazilian Empire. So it also has a lot of history and Portuguese architecture. It's very interesting. So I think I've covered all the places in Rio that I think are worth a visit. And then of course I'm gonna leave this one last. It would be Rio itself. You know, like Rio de Janeiro, the capital. I don't have a lot of things to say about Rio because Rio for me is the most bittersweet place in the world. Like, it has so many good things, but then like as a person who lives there, it also has so many things that are complicated, you know, that I would 100% travel to Rio. Please travel to Rio, but also try exploring the things that are not just Rio the city. Rio the city, like the capital, it's very nice. It has lots of things to do. It has lots of hikes, lots of mountains, lots of beaches. But for me personally, as a person who lives there, like who lived there actually, I prefer exploring the other cities around, you know. But Rio again has lots of mountains and nature everywhere. The people are extremely friendly, and Rio is a vivid city, you know. It's a place where you're gonna find everything. There's everything for everyone. I would recommend escaping a little bit the touristy areas and try going to any neighborhood more like in the north side of the city. So the touristy side of Rio, the capital, is basically just like the south part of the city, and that's where like the main attractions are. This is like the wealthiest part of the city, and I think it's a place where you're going to experience a lot of a lot of the culture from Rio. But if you could go to any of the other neighborhoods, more like in the north part of the city, I think that's where you're gonna like find like the OG like Rio, you know, like where the working class lives, and where like I don't know, it's gonna be a different world. You know, it's gonna be completely different from the photos that you see on the internet. It's gonna be completely different from the beach area, and it's worth a visit. You know, I wouldn't necessarily stay there because it's not very convenient as a tourist. It's kind of far, but yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. There's another city across the bay that is called Niterói. I have been there a couple of times, but I don't have a lot to say about that city. Lots of my friends live there because of university, so it's like a big university city, you know, like they have one of the biggest universities in the state, so they have a pretty young population, and with a pretty young population, I'd say there's probably lots to do, you know? So good place to visit as well, Niterói. And well, I think that's it. I'm trying to think of any other cities that I would recommend traveling. But yeah, I'm trying to think. We always travel to Búzios. Búzios is a beach town, also like out of Rio. It's located like 3 hours out of Rio, and it's very nice. This one is a little bit more, let's say, developed for tourists, you know? So I'd say that it's also a place where you're gonna experience Brazilian culture, but understand that it's a place that is more tailored for tourists, you know? Whereas like when you travel to the other cities around, you're like for example, there's another one that we always go that we never see foreign tourists. It's called Rio das Ostras. So this one, like lots of people from my city go to the city, and I bet if there's anyone from my city watching this video, they're gonna make fun of me because I'm recommending this city. They say it's not that good, but I understand that like if you're coming from overseas and you're trying to explore Brazil and go deep into Brazilian culture, this is one of the places you can do so, you know? They still have nice beaches, and it's not touristy, you know, it's touristy for the people that live nearby, but yeah. And yeah, it's a good place. You know, it's very warm, very unique, much less tailored for tourists, and good place to visit. So I guess that's it for today's video. This channel is gonna be, I think, me talking about random things and my opinion on things. I don't think a lot of people are gonna watch this video, but if you're traveling to Rio and you want to explore something else other than just the city and the main attractions, because I know how it sucks to go to a place expecting to like experience the place and experience the culture and meet people, but then you go to a place and you only go to the touristy spots, and then like everything is tailored for tourism and it's overpriced because like I don't know. So it's good when you escape the touristy part, you know? The touristy part is also nice, but it's so good when you visit something else and you feel like, wow, that was so unique, you know, that I don't know, that makes me feel good and connected, and that was a different perspective into a culture or a country. So these are places that I would recommend. Some of these places are still kind of touristy, but if you get on the highway, you can stop on the cities along the way, and then you can see stuff. And no, like Rio is dangerous, but it's not as dangerous as people picture it, you know? Like I meet so many foreigners that they think that Rio is like just pure chaos. And as a person who lived there, I think that when you live there, like it gets tiring some things, but like it's not like you cannot drive around. It's not like you cannot walk around. Of course you can, especially in these cities that are recommended, that are out of Rio, the capital. These cities are much safer, you know? So beware of your phone when you're walking around on busy streets. Feel the place where you are, you know? You have to feel the vibe, you know? But in most cases, like, yes, you can rent a car, yes, you can drive around, nothing's gonna happen. Just beware, you know? And let me know if you think this video was helpful, if you think these tips were useful. And yeah, I didn't go deep into anything because it wasn't very, I don't know, this video wasn't very planned, but let me know what are your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next one. And I hope you visit Rio. If you do so, send me a message. I'll be like happy to to see that, like, I don't know, my tips could help you. So see you in the next one.
Essa a gente vende no caminho de casa. Bom demais. Contato com a natureza, venda. Feliz.
My name is João. João is João Ferreira.